Good morning. Okay, so before I go out here and make this video, first thing, I changed phones again. So I made a post and then I put it in the description on those videos from last week about the phone. So I have another phone. I'm not gonna get too much into that. If you want to know about it, just ask in the comments and I'll tell you. But anyway, so I changed phones. Think I'm gonna be good with this one, which this is the same kind of phone as same manufacturer, brand, something. Whatever, as the phone I had originally. So I'm pretty confident that I'm gonna like this better. But anyway, that's not why we're in the kitchen. I want to show you something. All right, so I have cucumbers now. The cucumbers are coming in. So I've picked one before these. I picked these yesterday, or picked them, you know what I mean. I pulled these out yesterday, but yeah, I've had one during the week, sometime during the week that I pulled. These peaches came from, there's an orchard near me and I get peaches from there. These are not from my house. But yes, so yeah, cucumbers are coming in, which is funny though because, well, not like ha funny, but I've seen some people kind of talking about how theirs are starting to peter out. But as I've told y'all in other videos, my stuff is just behind, from me. I started things late, and then all the rain slowed down growth on a lot of stuff. But yeah, so where a lot of people are, if they do succession sowing, they're at the point now where they're starting or getting ready to start their another round of oh my gosh, another round of plants. But yeah, I'm still on the originals. They're just getting started. I had this one okra yesterday too. I should have put this in the refrigerator because it's getting a little soft on the end. I ate one. I wanted to try a raw one, so I ate one. It was still probably like this. It was like this tall, so maybe like half the size of this one. I just wanted to try it, but so it's the second okra technically. But yeah, can't do too much with just one by itself. So we'll see what happens with that. All right, now let's go outside. All right, so here's just a general overview of this space over here. I'll talk about the other space when I get over there. Again, kale, still doing good. I'm actually going to pull that later. I'm going to cook that today, but I don't want to pull it now and then have to do something with it in the house, because it'll be a number of hours before I cook that. So I'll just leave it out here, so I'm ready to pull it. Nice cabbage head right there. Okay, so something I wanted to say over here. Y'all know I had some squash right here in the front. Well, they just didn't make it. My squash have not been doing well, like last year or this year. And if you remember, I had some pumpkins growing back here on the back. I didn't even realize those had died until I came out here looking at the summer squash. But yeah, I don't know if it was pest pressure or what happened with them, but they were like dead, like dried up dead by the time I noticed. And while we haven't been getting as much rain, we have still been getting rain. So it wasn't like they needed water or anything. So I don't know, it's probably pests, but yeah, they were done. And yeah, so the squash didn't do really well. I don't know if I told y'all or showed you this, but I did start some more squash and I put them out here. I put them here, and then I originally had some over here, so I put some here too, because the ones that were originally over here didn't make it either. But I'll show you what happened with those, because they didn't die too. I moved them, and thinking about that now, I probably need to grab some water so I can water them. Hopefully they're okay. But if they're not, then oh well. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on over here. Got some watermelon plants. There's one back there. That's not that. There it is right there. See it coming out the side. I need to clean over here. But yeah, it's right here. And this situation. That is a cantaloupe. It's one of the cantaloupes that's planted over here. The cantaloupe's doing really well, y'all. Let me show you. There are a couple. Look. Look. Look at it. It's so pretty. It is so pretty. I'm so pleased with this cantaloupe. Sorry. Let me focus. Focus. Can we focus? There's all this grass in here. I am so pleased with this cantaloupe because I'm sure I told y'all the seeds I put in here were just seeds that I saved from a cantaloupe. So, yeah. But look at it. There's two of them. So I came out here one day, it was probably a couple weeks ago, and I saw this one, but I don't know if I thought that was a leaf down there or what, but I was like, what is that? And I moved and I was like, oh my gosh, I have cantaloupe. I didn't even know they had started like really growing. So, I mean, the vine has been growing pretty well, but I didn't know there were fruit on it. So yeah, so I got at least those two, hopefully. There probably some more somewhere off in here. Well, that is closer to the oops, what's going on? That is closer to the base of the plant. Like it's planted right in there somewhere. Actually, I think it was right next to this tomato plant. So that's closer to the base. So that makes sense that they're growing right there. But this one that went out the side, is it that one or is it one that's closer to the ground? One of these that's growing on the outside, and I kind of pushed it back over to the fence so I didn't cut it when I was mowing. It had a little one on it. So I don't know. There's gonna be some more on here, and I'm hoping they just all make it. Now, and I almost walked into this string over my head. I'll show you that in a second. These are just, those extra tomatoes that I planted over here. And think about it, is this a brandywine? Looking at this leaf, this looks a little bit more like a potato leaf. I don't think I remember that being a brandywine, but sorry y'all. Ooh. Weeds, man. I don't remember that being a brandywine, but maybe it is. Look at all these seeds on my hand. Seeds. Knock them off on my shirt. But yeah, that must be, because that's the only potato leaf variety that I had. I wonder, I don't remember what the leaves on the Cherokee Purple are like. So that might be a possibility. But anyway, that doesn't have any fruit on it yet. You can tell it's been a little stressed apparently because those down there are dead. See that? But then it's got, some blossoms up here. So hopefully that'll do something. If not, it was just an extra. All right, focus now. We don't need you doing that. And then we have the beans. They're growing. Some are taller than others. Those are still way down there. I don't know why. This one's up. That one's down. This one is right here. Look around the tomatoes. And there's some pepper plants under here, and I have to keep getting under here and making sure I'm uncovering them so they can try to live. Is there one right here? No. Okay, that's good. It's right here. Okay, so there's that one. Then there are the jalapenos down here. Look at a little grass growing in that opening. I might take this off. But yeah, so not too concerned about getting a bunch of jalapenos, which is why I'm not that worried about it being covered like that. And I think it's kind of crowding that out. But other peppers all in here. And they are getting going, like there are flowers on them. And then you see this one has that first fruit on it. The two eggplants are looking really well. I was nervous about these eggplants, y'all, because they were small, but they have just grown. Look at that. This one is still shorter, but it looks good though. Even though it's short, it looks really good. And this one is, as you can see, a little taller. All right, now I want to show you these beams on this pole right here. I'm trying to figure out how to do that because where the sun is, I don't want to blind you guys. There are some Japanese beetles on here. Oh, you know what? Actually, I might be able to reach up high enough. There's some Japanese beetles on here. So I'm going to have to come get those off. I don't have my cup out here. I got like some soapy water and stuff in a cup to try to keep those cleaned up. So let's show you. You see? And it goes over. Whoops. Goes over there. Okay, so I don't want to raise that up too much because I don't want to show you too much other stuff that has nothing to do with me. But hold on. So what I'm doing is these have gotten really tall. They've gotten really tall. And they are taller than these little poles that I put out here. And these poles are taller than me. They might be 6-foot poles, and then once I drove them into the ground a little bit, that took a little bit of the height off. But they're still a couple, 2 or 3 inches taller than me, it looks like. But yeah, so they're growing up, and then I just tied a string up here. And on the other side of this bed, that is where I have the tomatoes. So I just tied it off to one of those posts. We have the corn here that is really short, got some little ears on it, and it does normally come up taller than this. I think I probably crowded that out. So, I mean, it is what it is. It does still have ears on it though, so, yeah. Hopefully these small ears will at least be pretty full. And even though there won't be as many, I mean, there'll be more of them because I planted so much right here. But then they'll be small, so hopefully it'll kind of, balance itself out. Got the space back here. This is the one I got the first okra off of, and there's another one coming up right there. And then I got one off of this one yesterday, and I tried to break it off with one hand and messed that up. And then there's just some more plants in here, those extra tomatoes and some flowers, that stuff. Here's where the cucumbers are. Not really going to get into here too much. As you see, there are a couple. And I pulled like 2 from right in this section yesterday. Then I got the nasturtium. That's being kind of smothered. There's some calendula being smothered in here as well. Some more nasturtium and calendula. And then, I did put bush beans over here. Well, I know now maybe not to try to do that again because the cucumbers have just completely crowded those out. So you can still see them in here in some spots, but I'm not going to be able to get anything off of these. I'm not expecting anything from them at this point. I was trying to keep them uncovered so they could get light and everything, but I'm not going to try to keep up with that. So they can have that. And then I do have some kind of spread out over here along the edges. That needs to be cleaned up. I don't know if I'm going to do it though, but it needs to be cleaned. Yeah, so there's some bush beans over here. I probably need to feed them, honestly, especially being in here with the corn. So hopefully I'll end up getting something off of those because those are different varieties from the pole beans, so I do want them. But if not, then I should have plenty of pole beans and it'll be okay. All right, tomatoes, still tying those up. That's the San Marzano. This is the Bradley, I believe, which is that new one that I'm trying. I'm trying that as my canning tomato. Okay, sorry. I thought I saw some hornworm poop, but I think that's just bird poop. Okay. Sorry, I'm not showing it to you. I thought that was hornworm, but I think that's just bird. So yeah, so it's Bradley, San Marzano, Brandywine. I don't see, oh, well, there's a little one. There's a little one on this Brandywine. I don't think I see any lower down. And then I just repeated that. And then here on the end, I think both of these are Bradleys. So those Bradleys seem to be doing pretty well. I'm pleased with them. And again, this is the first year that I've done those. I'm kind of trying to do them as my canning tomato instead of the San Marzanos. I just went ahead and planted San Marzanos because I still have a lot of seeds from that. So I'm going to use the seeds. And they weren't terrible, but it's just like there's too much liquid in seeds. I need something that's going to have more meat. So, yeah. I'll leave that at that. But yes, these are doing pretty well though. Like you see, there are a lot that are not making it, but as far as the ones that are on here, they look good. So those are nice and big, and this one, they aren't as big, but it has more, which makes sense because it looks like that one might only have, well, let's see. I think this branch. Okay, these branches are on the same plant, but it has this one section right here that's really big, whereas this one has a few sections on it. Alright, I think that is everything over here. Here's that little melon that I saw. So it's kind of hanging out the side. I just tucked this up here like this. I actually need to take that down because with this being cantaloupe, they're going to be pretty heavy and I don't want them breaking off trying to hang from up here. I've set it up there because I was mowing and I just need to get it off the ground. But I might just let it have this space right along the fence and just not mow that far over. But yeah, I'm going to have to, you know what, let's just do that now. Let's just do it now. Just lay you down close to the side and I'll just mow as far over as I can without hurting it. That one is a little lower to the ground, so I think hopefully it'll be okay and it'll just grow and then just sit on the ground at some point. I don't know if it's gonna get that big though. And I have this coming up through here. You know, I might come through later and move this and maybe bring it down, bring it through somewhere further down. Maybe not. We'll just see about that. Okay, so this is a space I really want to show y'all. All right, this is a butternut, and let's see. So under here we got some kale. That you see right there with the big leaves, that's more of this butternut plant or another one. There's a weed or two in there. That with the seed heads, that's parsley. And I'm just going to let it go to seed and drop seeds off in here. This is generally where I keep the parsley. Okay, bees, chill out. There's some carrots under here. And carrots. Y'all see those little carrot seedlings? Okay, so what I wanted to say about this space over here, though. Sorry, I still got this netting up. Let me see, there's some beets. And lettuce that's about to go to seed. Kale. Basil over there on the side. The dill is over there on the other side, too. And that's actually a little bit of it right there. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that. Okay, these bees are flying all around me. I'm going to have to get up from here. They're just flying by, though. It's like, just go to the flower. Okay, but yeah, there's the dill. Let me get up, man. These bees are bothering me. All right, so here is what I want to show you. This is a yellow squash over here. And, you know, I was just talking about how bad the squash has done for me this year and last year. But I did realize last year when I put the butternuts over here, they did great. Like, they loved it back here in this bed. So that's why I put that one up there. And I've seen this growing. I think I showed it to y'all in the other video. And I was talking about how I still had the insect netting over it, but I would take that off when it started seeing female flowers so that the pollinators can get to it. He said, oh man, he moved. Look. See, they're flying around again. I don't know if they're flying around because of me or just because they're not staying put long enough for me to really get you a shot of them. But let me step back because those are honeybees and not bumblebees, and I'm not trying to get stung. Do bumblebees sting? You know what I'm talking about, the little fat round ones? I don't think they do. I feel like somebody said that they don't. But I know honeybees sting, and I don't want to upset them too much. So anyway, yes, I put the butternuts back here, and I've been seeing this plant, and I saw like when the little bitty ones started on here, and I was like, okay, it's starting to fruit. Let me go ahead and uncover it. And I didn't even make note of the fact that the leaves on this look different from the leaves on that other one that I showed you. So I've just been thinking like, oh yeah, I just put butternut in here. I did not remember that I put a yellow squash over here. But I'm so happy I did because, like I told you, those that I put up in the other bed just didn't make it. And so it's like, man, I'm this far in the season and I still don't have any squash. Well, now I will have squash because this one back here is, you see all those on there? And it's at least 2, well, 3. I didn't see this big one. So it's at least 3 right there that look like they're gonna fully grow. Because see, these 2 that I'm talking about right here, I'm assuming those have been pollinated. Now that one under there, it looks like it didn't get pollinated. It looks like it's dying. But yeah, so I'm going to have some squash. And I'm really happy about that. I was looking at this yesterday because when they started and they were really small, I was like, those look a little funny, but I was like, okay, whatever. But then as they started to get more yellow, I was like, I don't think that's a butternut. So yeah, I was out here mowing yesterday and I looked at them and I was like, wait, these leaves are different from those. And that's when I realized, like, no, that's just a yellow squash. That's not a butternut. So yeah, I'm gonna have some squash after all pretty soon, which is funny because I have to remind myself of what's coming in when I start grocery shopping so that I'm not buying stuff unnecessarily. So like at the point that I see the green beans actually starting to produce, I'll go ahead and stop buying so that I don't start overlapping with what's coming in the garden. Look at them. They left. I didn't even move. I just zoomed in and they left. They knew. Look at them. Okay, I'm gonna step back. But yeah, so I try not to overlap. Well, since I didn't realize that I had yellow squash in here, I bought some. I bought some yellow squash and some zucchini yesterday, and now I got these that are gonna be ready this week. So yeah, about that. But that is that this plant? Yeah, okay, so that's this plant that's coming over here. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy about that, y'all. But yeah, this basil and stuff on this side. I'm not gonna uncover that to try to show it to you. And alright, let's switch sides. Alright, y'all, here we are. I'm going to preface this by saying I have mostly given up on this space, particularly on the outside parts. And I'll talk about that as we go through, but I'll go ahead and start here. So I took the garlic out. I showed y'all that video. I think I did a short showing you the garlic. So that's why this is pretty empty. I went ahead and put some corn in here, which did not come up very well. I don't know if I watered it much. I watered it a little. It's got me thinking I was supposed to come over here and check that squash. I'll look at that in a second. Oh my gosh, y'all, the hibiscus is so pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, hold on. One thing at a time. But yeah, so I just went ahead and put some corn, and I think I put some fertilizer or something in here with this. Just because of how small and how short the other one was, I went ahead and put some more in. I think I actually bought some. I bought some corn seed, so this is actually different corn from that's over there in the other bed. So we'll just see what happens with that. The onions are looking good. So I have onions over here. This is the onion patch right here, but then I had enough. I had so many that I just kind of spread them out a little bit. So I'll show you those as well. They're not doing as good as these that are in their dedicated space, but they are okay. Carrots. I'm probably going to start using these here soon. Just whenever I need one, I'll start pulling them out. But yeah, nice and lush. And do I want to go back to the beginning? Nah, I want to show you these flowers. I want to show y'all this hibiscus. Okay, I'm going to shade this. Look at that. It's so pretty. It's so pretty, y'all. Listen, I told y'all the other day in the flower tour how this thing is full of buds and you can still see a lot of buds on it. Like a lot of buds. Oh my gosh. There are a lot of buds on this thing and it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Oh, it's so pretty. And so those taller ones that I was saying, I didn't know if that was a weed or something that was in the flower mix. I think that was in the flower mix. Zinnias are coming up. Sunflower or two here or there. And I did buy some, I bought like a sunflower seed mix a few days ago. And what I think I'm going to try to do is just find some spots in here and just drop some soil. Like, I don't know if I'm going to open this up, but I'll put something down and then just drop those seeds in. And hopefully they'll be able to grow in that and kind of root through this grass that's in here. I don't know. If I had like an auger or something, I would maybe try to actually make some little holes around for it, but I don't want to really get that involved. All right, let's go back to the beginning. Sorry, I might have hit pause a little too fast on that. Okay, so here are some of the extra onions. There's around birds making noise in the trees. I didn't know what that was. There's a few right here. There were more. They didn't make it. And then like that one right there. I think there's one or two underneath over there. This is cabbage. And as you can see, it's just, being eaten. Dahlia. This is being eaten as well. I mean, it looks like some of them are trying to hit. Look at this. That's either cauliflower or broccoli. That's what's on these sides. It's cauliflower and broccoli. But, yeah. This cabbage is the cabbage from Overwinter. So I'm going to start pulling these. I don't know if I'm going to pull all of them today. Some of them aren't going to be any good. Like that. I'll have to look at that because I don't know if that's just the leaves on the outside. Oh, that's pretty firm. So it might just be those outside leaves. I'll take a look at it. I might leave that one. I don't know. Yeah, it's got a little, like it's trying to rot or something. So I'll just see. I'll see what's going to happen with these. Look at that. That's cute. That one's cute. That one looks like, not Seymour. What was his name? Did he have a name? Y'all know what I'm talking about? Oh my gosh, what's the name of that? Oh, Little Shop of Horrors. Did y'all watch that movie? He's like Phoebe Seymour. Okay, anyway. That kind of looks like that I don't know why that looks like that to me, but it does. Look at that. So that's not going to do anything because it's already got a little head right there. Little baby. But yeah, I was thinking about just cleaning this out, taking the shade cloth down, and maybe... Well, actually, I'm going to put some squash over here. I'm going to put some squash in. Got a volunteer tomato right there. There's some beets kind of scattered around. But yeah, I want to put some squash over here. And maybe just squash. And then we'll wait until later in the season when it's time to try this stuff again. Because I'm thinking I might have to just stick to trying to do this kind of stuff over the fall. Cabbage will do okay growing into the summer for me, but cauliflower and broccoli is just not really working out. So, yeah. Let's see. I don't know how I'm going to get up under here to show y'all these. That is that kale that was already in here. Again, broccoli or cauliflower, one of the two. This is where I moved those squash. So see, I need to make sure I come out and water those little babies. And there's another one. And these, I had put them in the ground over there on the other side, but then I came and I took them out and moved them over here. Because they hadn't been doing well over there, so I was like, let's just see if they do better here. Like, so there's one back there. This one over here was already bad, but I was just gonna try it anyway. And again, a couple of volunteer tomatoes. All right, I'll sit back here. Okay, so I'm walking around to the front. I'm not gonna show you a bunch of flowers again because we just did that last week, but I did want to say something up here in the front. Okay. All right, so y'all know I put some lavender up here. I got that one right there. I got one right here. I think it's just two of those. And then I have Russian sage, that one there, and that one there. And I have that one that I grew from seed. But these two are the two that I bought last year. And then I think I just planted. Or did I buy them early this year and then I held them for a while? I don't know. But anyway, those were just planted up here this spring. They're not doing good. And I know it's the lighting. So I'm going to take those out. I'm going to take them out and I'm going to move them to the back. I'm going to figure out kind of how I want to place them. But they're going to go. So look at that. A little branch. They're going to go back there in the new bed. That bed over on the side where I have that little tree that hasn't grown much. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. But yeah, I'm going to move them back there. Which I already started some lavender inside because I did decide that I want to put lavender in that bed. But this is going to give me two more plants that I just have to find somewhere to put them. They may not go in that bed. They might end up in the longer bed. But yeah, I think that stuff just isn't going to, it's just not going to make it up here. And maybe if I gave it more time, yeah, it might do okay later in the season as the sun shifts. But this is too far into the season for them to not be doing anything and to have all this empty space. So I don't think I like that. So what I'm thinking is I have decided that I'm moving this because it's so close to that. I'm probably going to move that too. So I might end up trying to fill these spaces in with stuff like that that's growing a little taller. And it might just be growing taller because it's reaching for the sun. See, I saw this weed in here the other day and I didn't get it. This right here, that's not something that's supposed to be in here. Is it gonna pull out easy? Yeah, got it. That's not supposed to be in here, and hopefully it's not something that's gonna make me itch or anything. So yeah. So yeah, so like the Gara, that's Gara. Like the Gara and this Coreopsis that is stretching out. I might try to put some of that in these spaces because I do want something a little taller, which is why I was putting the Russian sage in between because if it grew up, it would be taller. But at this rate, I don't, even though these are newly planted, I don't want to go through this every year because they're the kind of plants that you cut back. So it's not like these bushes where it'll get big and then it'll just keep growing off of that and growing. It'll basically start off like this every year. So every year I'd be looking at this for months on end. So I don't want to do that. Well, maybe not quite that small. I probably wouldn't cut it back that far, but it wouldn't be much bigger. So I think I'm going to move those. I don't know when. And I still have to decide exactly where I'm going to put it in the back, but yeah. Yeah, so that's what's happening. Just a quick little Sunday morning update for you. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Bye.